All right, on this second page of the transformations, we're going to work on how a graph gets skinnier or wider, how the width changes. And remember, we said A, this is just the leading coefficient. And the normal value, if A is 1, then that's its basic shape. You know, if it's 1x squared, it's a parabola with the origin, and that's the normal curve. But in general, what happens here, if you go down here, if A is bigger than 1, it's all slope. That's all it is. The graph goes up more rapidly, so it's going to get skinnier. So instead of having just x squared, if I had 3x squared, 6x squared, 8x squared, the graph gets skinnier. Vice versa, the opposite, if the leading coefficient is in between 0 and 1, okay, most likely it's a fraction, the graph rises slower, so this is where it gets wider. Okay, what I'm really going to focus on is kind of using slope. In class, I'll probably go over how we can also make an XY chart as well by actually doing the math. I'm really not going to focus on the math right now, just focus on the concept of slope because that's what this is. Okay, first example right here, you have 2x squared. This is where this leading coefficient is 2. So you know your parabola, it is right here. The origin, is the vertex right there of the parabola. And since it's 2, this is what it means. You use slope. You can go to the right 1 unit and then you go up 2 units because that's the leading coefficient. So from the origin, right, I just go to the right 1 and I go up 2. Or if you want to think of it rise over run, you go up 2 to the right 1. Okay, and then we have this graph right here. We can go both directions. Now, if I look at this, the second one, the x cubed, I know it's an S shape. Well, here it's only 1/2. Well, 1/2 is just like this example. It's in between 0 and 1. This is where it's going to get wider. So at the origin, this is where we get this middle part of the S curve where it changes its shape. So here we go. We can go over 1 unit, but now we go up only 1/2. So we're not going up as fast. So I can go to the right 1, but I only go up 1/2. Or I could go to the left 1, but only go down 1/2. Okay, make sure you make an S curve so it looks like this. Okay, just it gets a little wider right there. All right, let's see. Kind of the same thing. If I just go through this quickly, 1/3 x. This is just like saying right here 1/3 times x. Again, that 1/3 is in between 0 and 1, so it's going to get wider. Here you get your VAs or your HA and your VA, the x and the y axis. So the origin, again, is like the middle part of the graph. So when you go to the right 1, you only go up 1/3. If you go to the left 1, you only go down 1/3, and just this gets wider right here. But it's the same exact curve. So these are things that you need to be thinking about. I'm not even using any math. I'm not making an XY chart. I'm only going to let's just do a couple right here. I'm going to look at this one right here, this y equals 3 over x squared. Let's zoom in here. There we go. Now if I did y equals 3 over x squared, I know its parent function is 1 over x squared, and this is the graph. They're boomerangs both in the first and second quadrant. And they're still going to be in the first and second, except it's going to be skinnier because the leading coefficient is 3. So I'm still going to have a VA here at the y-axis and HA at the x-axis. But now when I go to the right 1, I go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. So it rises quicker. If I go to the left 1, then I go up 3. I have that point, and there's our graph. It's as easy as that. Didn't even make an XY chart. Let's see here. Let's do one more. Let's do the one below it. Let's do y equals x squared over 4. Okay, if I do this one, again, let's zoom in. All right, I know it's a parabola. This is just like saying y equals 1/4 times x squared. So it's going to be a parabola. This 1/4, it's in between 0 and 1. It's going to get fatter. It's going to get wider. Now the origin is still going to be the vertex. But now if I go to the right 1, I only go up 1/4. So I have a point there. I go to the left 1, I only go up 1/4. And you can see, let's do that right there. You can see it's going to get wider. Have it, Right? You have 2 or 3 points. That's it. You have your graph.